Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome back to our YouTube channel once again. And it is my hope and prayer that this video is actually going to find you guys in good health. Personally, I am fine. As you can see, Kisumu is also fantastic. And maybe you could also let me know where you are watching the video from, the county or the country, in case you are out of the republic. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to begin this video by asking you guys a very important question. If William Ruto and Raila-Ruto Odinga were to enter into handshake, the name might be different. Would you support it? Now, let me be very specific. If you know you voted for Raila Odinga in 2022, can you support any handshake deal he might enter with William Ruto? Yes or no in the comment section. Now, let me also be very specific to those who voted for William Ruto. Can you agree or can you support any handshake deal between Ruto and Raila? I'm going to give my opinion, my answer to that question, uko nyuma, towards the end of this video. But for now, let me read your answers, whether you support the handshake or not, because you all know that in politics, nothing happens out of mere coincidence. And that everything in politics is normally well planned, well scripted, and executed to achieve a specific political objective. Nothing in politics just happens for the sake of it. Already in this country, there are those who strongly believe that there's going to be a handshake between Ruto and Raila. And there are those who also believe that that handshake already took place.
Regarding Gachagua and Kalonzo Musyoka should be very afraid.
They are on the outside.
I have been carrying the view, sometimes a little privately, but once in a while I let it off, that there's a deal between Raila and Ruto. And so Muga is very right. That kind of thing that played out could not very easily have played out if Raila had not given his nod.
So a handshake took place.
There's something has taken place.
We're just going through the motions.
The only problem is, you see, Raila owes his team so much that if it came out openly immediately that he was dealing with Ruto, that sense of betrayal, he may not be able to carry it. On the other hand, Ruto has a problem. The main shareholder in his government is not a small boy, and he does not mince his words. Regarding Gachagua, will cause a lot of trouble for Ruto if that deal
became public.
But I suspect there's a deal between the two, and this the casualties will be Kalonzo Musyoka and Rigathi Gachagua.
And that's why in July there was a secret meeting between William Ruto and Raila-Ruto Handshake in Mombasa. Most people believe that that's where the deal was brokered. And of course, that handshake, I know the name might be different to serve political interest, is going to have serious political implications in this country, politically speaking. Number one, is going to have serious implication in Kenya Kwanza. For example, if tomorrow we wake up and Ruto and Raila are there at Harambee House or at State House, then people like Rigathi Gachagua would not be happy because they're going to have serious implication on them.
Usioga. Nyinyi mnaweza kubali mambo ya handshake? Sisi tumewaambia hao hakuna handshake. Wewe kama unataka kusalimia mtu, salimia bibi yako. Si ukisalimia bibi yako ni sawa?
Rais hapa, watu hapa Mlima Kenya walikuchagua wewe na wakakupatia kura zao zote. Wamesema kwa kauli moja mambo ya handshake hawataki. Mungakataa handshake? Wangapi wanasema hakuna handshake, hakuna handshake, hakuna handshake? Rais wetu, wewe ni mchapakazi. Tulikuchagua kwa sababu tunakuamini, kwa sababu uko na mpango na uko na maono.
I am also sure that in Azimio, if that handshake were to happen, there are individuals who will not be comfortable, like myself. Someone like Kalonzo Musyoka might not really support that handshake. In ODM itself, the rebel MPs who are already working with Ruto, do you want to tell me they'll be comfortable or they'll be happy if Raila Odinga and his troops were to join William Ruto? They would not. But already there are signs. So in this video, I want us to look at specifically the reason why Mount Kenya is resisting any attempt of a possible handshake. Rigathi Gachagua is very clear, and he has actually warned Ruto that if by any chance you allow Raila Odinga anywhere near power, then Mount Kenya is going to revolt. So the question is, why is the mountain against the possibility of a handshake? Before we do that, for those who are watching this channel for the first time, please take a second or two, click that subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support, because without that support, this channel cannot be where it is. Ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, allow me to dive in. But before we dive in, allow me to thank the following people. You are seeing their names on the screens there for the coffee which they delivered to me earlier in the day. I'm so grateful, and it goes a long way in promoting or supporting the channel. Ladies and gentlemen, in politics, nothing happens out of mere coincidence. And I've also been studying the political developments in Kenya, and something tells me that Raila Odinga has actually softened his stance on William Ruto, and that William Ruto is also going slow on Raila Odinga. It can only point to something. Let me just give you some of the signs. The other day, you saw Sabina Chege being removed as the deputy minority whip in the National Assembly. Sabina Chege was actually being used by none other than William Ruto to frustrate Azimio in parliament. If Ruto wanted her to continue with that task, the court would not have ruled the way they did. Number two, the bipartisan talks. Today, though I've not really watched the news or read it fully, but just going through Twitter, I've realized that the bipartisan team have actually reached some agreements on some of the issues. One of the issues is the position of the Prime Minister. So I believe that is what is being offered to Raila Odinga. The position of the Prime Cabinet Secretary, Musalia Mudavadi's position, being entrenched in our constitution, because currently it's unconstitutional. And of course, the issue of political parties being respected. They have also agreed on that and others. That can only tell you that these talks are headed somewhere, where William Ruto wants them and where Raila Odinga also wants them. Then the other sign, which is there, most people might not have noted, is William Ruto's visit to Nyanza. For those with keen political eyes, you should have noted that when William Ruto visited Nyanza, ODM governors accompanied Ruto. Why do you think that happened? Because those are Raila Odinga's soldiers on the ground, all of them. So it means they had instructions from Raila Odinga to attend those events, but make it clear to the audience that we are attending, but we are in ODM. So I'm seeing even the way William Ruto was received as something which was actually planned politically. But why is the mountain saying no to any possibility of the handshake? Number one, if Raila Odinga and William Ruto were to agree to a political deal today, so many political careers in the mountain are actually going to come to an abrupt end. The politicians in the mountain whose political career depends on Raila Odinga fully, depends on Raila Odinga fully. Which means if Raila Odinga would not be in equation, then their politics will just end. You know, I want to ask you, what would be the agenda in the mountain without Raila Odinga? Zero. Because they've created a Raila Odinga phobia. That is what they always run with. Now, if Raila Odinga were to join the same government where they are, and because you see, the issue is Raila Odinga will just say, okay, I want to give Ruto space to run his government. I'm not going to interfere with him. I can tell you the politicians in the mountain who will not be able to even have an agenda to tell the people. Number two, I also tend to think that the biggest fear in Mount Kenya currently is that if Raila Odinga and William Ruto were to have the handshake, then their influence in Kenya Kwanza government is going to be eroded. Why is Mount Kenya critical in Kenya Kwanza as we speak? Because of Raila Odinga. They have the numbers. So if Raila Odinga were to join Kenya Kwanza, were to join William Ruto, it means he's going to come with the numbers. And therefore, with the numbers, the mountain will not be able to blackmail William Ruto. Rigathi Gachagua will not be getting the guts to lecture Ruto. That can't happen now because Raila Odinga will be there. Raila Odinga will shield him. Number four, if you ask me, why, and this is why Mount Kenya is also afraid, is probably because looking at it critically, there is a strategy to lock Mount Kenya out of the presidency post William Samoei Arap Ruto. That would mean either Musalia Mudavadi or someone else being fronted. And if you look at William Ruto's strategies of late, he's now giving Musalia Mudavadi more roles in government. But Musalia Mudavadi doesn't have that real support. That real support can only come from Raila Odinga supporters. So I'm looking at a possibility. I'm looking at a possibility of Kalonzo Musyoka teaming up with Raila Odinga if that handshake were to happen. Because for me, I'm not up for it. If that handshake were to happen, Raila Odinga this time around tagging Kalonzo Musyoka. Then they go to the table. Then they'll sit. Okay. For Ruto, I'll say, okay, I'm supporting Mudavadi. Kalonzo Wekuwa deputy. So I'm looking at it from that perspective, that it has the potential, and this is the fear the mountain have. It has the potential of actually locking out the mountain from the presidency after William Ruto's term in office comes to an end. And lastly, there is also the fear in the mountain that if Raila and Ruto were to agree to work together, then they are going to be isolated. There's that fear of isolation. Why do you think they have that fear? It means the numbers that they have, the number of votes, the number of MPs, governors, and senators are now not going to be of any value, if you ask me. And of course, if these guys were also to meet, you also know that it's going to boil down to what is called politics of betrayal. Ruto betrayed Raila, Kibaki betrayed Raila, Uhuru betrayed Ruto, Ruto now betraying Rigathi Gachagua. So it's going to be a circle, politics of betrayal. I don't know what you think. That's my take. Until next time, this is Lee Makwiny. And by the way, I was at some beach somewhere here in Kisumu. Inaitwa Ringo Beach. Very nice place. I think there is another one. Is it Coco Beach? Owned by one of my friends. Very nice places. So if you are in Kisumu, you can move around those places. I think this time around I should start showing you around Kisumu. The places where you can eat good food, where you can eat good nyama choma, where you can eat, you can eat fish like you go to Lepal there. You know, I should start telling you, because today I went to that place, Bingo Beach, for the first time. You see, it was my wife's birthday today. So we decided to go there because I've seen a few photos there. I was actually impressed. Thank you, and may you have a good day. Bye-bye.